Hi friends, it's Jacqueline with Jacqueline Uncertified, and in today's video we're going to be doing some very simple modern Christmas DIYs. With these DIYs we're mainly using Dollar Tree items and a few others, but when I say very simple, I mean very simple. So grab your glue guns and some black paint and let's get started. We are first going to start off with these nutcrackers. We're going to just be painting them black. But before we do that, we're going to take off of their hair. And by doing so, you can just take their goatee off, pretty simple, just by pulling on it. And the back hair you're going to be pulling and then using some scissors and some tweezers. The reason we're pulling off all of this hair is so that we can spray paint them. I decided to spray paint mine black with the Kylon. I don't know how to say that correctly, but it's just the flat black spray paint. And I just used some, like I said, some scissors right here, and then use tweezers to get the remainder of the hair out of the side. And you're just going to kind of pull until you get all of the hair removed from each side of the nutcrackers. Now this is a pretty simple task to do. The hair comes out pretty easily. It does take some force, but it does come out pretty easily. Also, I'm sorry about the glare on this video. The sun was blaring in and I didn't realize until after I started editing that it was so bright. But once you get all of the hair removed, then you're just going to replace the hat and spray paint them with your spray paint. And this is how they turned out, a very matted black, and I think they will go really well with a modern Christmas vibe. I love the way they turned out, actually. Next up is just these Christmas villages that I also got from Dollar Tree. I spray painted 2 of those black and also loved the way these turned out as well. They are just so modern and beautiful for that Christmas modern vibe. Up next, we're going to be taking these ornaments from Dollar Tree, and these are the reindeer ornaments, and I just removed the berries, bow, and the greenery on them, and then sanded them down using the Dollar Tree's sandpaper to get all the glitter off. The glitter can also be taken off by Goo Gone. You can also find that at Dollar Tree, but I ended up finding out that the sandpaper worked the best, so I just kept sandpapering off all that glitter and removing it, which took a little longer than I expected, but that's okay. It was fine in the end. And then I also took these wooden planks, they're the square ones, and cut them in half using an X-Acto knife. And these are actually going to be the base for those reindeer. The reason I did this is so that they can stand up on their own. The reindeer don't quite stand up on their own just by themselves, so I wanted a base for them. Of course, I then spray painted them all black and added some hot glue to the bottom of them, and then hot glued them to the base. Now I've seen these in modern vibes or modern decor for Christmas all over, but they're a lot more expensive than the $10 that I made them for. They are usually run around $14-15, so for about $1, it's a pretty good deal, and I thought they turned out really well. Next up, we're going to be doing some trees out of these Dollar Tree's wooden dowels that they have. I used 2 the exact size of the dowels, and then I cut one of them down using a the wire cutters that I have, and it worked pretty well, but I know that you can use scissors. It just takes a little longer. But I just cut one down so that the tree was going to be skinnier versus just using 3 the same exact size. And then I just hot glued each end to where it met another dowel to connect all of them to this tree shape, or triangle tree shape. And then I used a 4th dowel for the stem of the tree. This one I cut way shorter, just so that I could get the stem the size that I wanted, and it wasn't super tall. But if you wanted, you can use it the full length. If you don't want to cut it down, it'll just be pretty tall. And then I used a generous amount of hot glue on this section so that it would stick and be really sturdy. And then you're going to then take it and use another generous amount and use another block of wood. This one I had already cut down from a previous project, and you're going to stick it to the base. Then you're going to just paint the whole thing in black. And then for some reason I didn't spray paint this one with the same spray paint that I mentioned earlier, with the flat spray paint. I kind of wanted this one just painted by hand. Maybe I was just in the mood for it. So I just painted this one by hand using some fluid paint that I got from Michael's. It's like the huge jars that are $10. And then I also wanted to add a little bit of gold and give it a more like elegant vibe, I guess, or modern elegant vibe. So I added some wires to the corners of each of the tree. And right here, I'm just spinning a little spiral kind of thing, so that the spiral can be stuck on the end, and then I can just wrap the edge around the corner. It just made it easier for me. So what I did was just wrap that dowel, or put the wire on the dowel with some hot glue, and then wrapped the dowels in the wire. Now I use this wire pretty often, so I'm not sure if any of you wonder, but this like little section of wire that I got, I've used it for almost all of my projects recently, especially for Christmas. And it actually came from Michael's last year. I bought it in January, so it was at their like 80 or 90% off. So I ended up only getting it for $1. So I have definitely been using this for its money's worth. I think it originally was about $10 and I only got it for $1. So I definitely recommend, if you need some wire, to go check out Michael's and during January, once they have all of their Christmas stuff on sale. The next one that I'm showing you is actually just a popsicle stick version of the tree that I just did, just because I wasn't able to find any more dowels at the 3 Dollar Trees near my house. So I figured I would show you a popsicle stick version, just in case you can't find any of those dowels as well. I just used 2 popsicle sticks for the top, and then used a little section of popsicle stick to connect them instead of using hot glue. But you can use hot glue in the sections instead. I just wanted to give you another option for these trees. Okay, and for the next one, I just took a Dollar Tree's picture frame. This one's an 8x10, and I just took the frame out. I took everything out of the frame and then just spray painted the frame itself, that black flat spray paint. And then I hot glued the glass back into the frame. That way we don't have to use those little dowels or those little wire pieces that hold the picture together. And I ended up taking those out so that the frame is more simple and you can't see those little pieces back on once the frame is all done. And then I just took a Word Winter Wonderland is the one that I used, but I just took that. You can print this out, but my printer was currently not working, so I just hand drew this out and cut it down and taped it to the picture frame, kind of centering the word to the glass itself. Once that's all done, you're going to flip it over, and then you're going to actually write on the glass using a Dollar Tree's glass pen. This one you get at the Dollar Tree, and I love this one because it's pretty permanent, except for when you use like window glass or anything. Like, I also can use acetone to remove it. So if you ever mess up, you can also remove it and retry, which I actually did with my D in the end. I don't know that I recorded that part, but I did end up redoing that. But you can just paint on with this marker your word that you wanted to use. Now this one I know is a little lopsided and kind of crazy, but that's okay for me just because I know my handwriting is not great and I know my printer wasn't working, so it's okay to me. But if you do want a better version, just go ahead and print something out that you can trace over, or use a simpler word like the one I will show you here in a minute, which was joy, which I also thought turned out really well. And then last but not least is another simple wreath. So I took these wreath rings from Walmart, and I'm using the smallest ring. And then I took these Dollar Tree white flowers and took the little pick off of it and decided to use that. And then I also used a pick from Walmart and used these like frosted leaves from that pick just to add to this wreath. And then with all of these, I just hot glued them down to the wreath ring. And this little pick is kind of like a garlandy pick, and it's got a little bit of snow on the top, and I thought it was just a little bit brighter and gave it the wreath a little bit more color alongside the white flower. And then I just took the piece of glass from a 11 by 14 or 11 by 16 picture frame from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use that piece for the backdrop for this wreath. I then took some of Dollar Tree's ribbon. This one is the Peace, Love, Merry Christmas one. So I think it also says joy or something else on it, but I just took this one and connected it to the wreath and the glass using some hot glue on the back side. And the back I used to glue it down, I put some glue on both sides of the ribbon so that the ribbon would stick to itself and the glass, just in case it wanted to fall down. I needed both sides down or glued down. And then you flip it over and that's it. That's the whole thing. It's super simple and just so beautiful for any decor. But I loved it for this minimalistic decor that we have going on for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great holiday season, and let me know if you guys want to try any of these. Bye!